Good morning. Welcome. Welcome, TikTok. Good morning, everybody. Today is, as always, an interesting subject, but a little different than my usual subject. Today is more philosophical. I still will give you all the steps that you need to, but still, it's something to think about. And why did I decide to do this particular subject right now, today? Is because the year is almost ending, and when we all kind of reflect on what we did, what we didn't do, what we're going to do. So I think it would be a good time for anybody to reflect on kind of whether you live in your life or you're not living your life, whether you why you postpone in your life, so you can start the year fresh. Now, the next Sunday, I also will do another video about changing trends in the world, astrological trends, and hopefully that would help you as well with your plans. Now, the reason also why I decided to do this video today is because I started noticing that I also started to postpone my life a little bit, to defer it, and if you are still confused and not sure what I'm talking about, it looks like this. So you're thinking, well, once I will lose weight, then I will buy myself a new dress. So once I will get myself a new job, then I will go on vacation. Or once this, once that. So it's you never live, and you will see once you will get to that once, you will also find an excuse not to live that particular plan that you had. So it takes a lot of strength to stop deferring life and start living it right now. And from whom I seen in my life, from my colleagues, from my friends, from my acquaintances, from my relatives, most of people live deferred life, and I will tell you why this is happening. Now, some of them defer life a little bit, some a lot. Like really a lot, like, to the point that when my children will grow up, then I will go on vacation. Like, what? I mean, you're going to wait 20 years for that? So, but still, it all comes from childhood, and I will tell you how it starts. Now, we all postpone life a little bit with some kind of events in our life, but the reasoning for this is different for everybody. I will tell you what my reason is. You might reflect on yours. So, everybody has. Now, we postpone in life for two reasons. So there is two reasons why we do that. The first reason is because it's a pattern. We just used to do that, since childhood. And the second reason is it helps us to protect ourselves. So let me open my notes, and we will start with that. So I will tell you, when did I realize that I was when I started postponing my life. I will tell you, it was in kindergarten. So I was going to kindergarten. Both of my parents were working, so I started kindergarten when I was a year and a half, the same as my brother. To go to kindergarten, you had to get there before your parents go to work. So we had to wake up very early, and I hated that, it was on my heart. And I always was, I was anticipating when the kindergarten torture will finish, so then I can enjoy my life. But then the school came, and then the university, and then I moved to the United States, and was always working. So I could say that only now, 40 years later, I can say that oh well, now now I don't have to wake up as early, but now I do wake up early because it's a habit. So, but this is when it started for me. It started in kindergarten. So I don't know how old I was, maybe 4, 5. I mean, can you imagine? I remember because I went to school when I was 6. So I remember how torturous it was to wake up, to put the clothes on, to have breakfast, and then go to kindergarten. And this started with me. You see, instead of me enjoying that moment, that particular moment of kindergarten life, I was waiting already for something better in the future. I was only 4 or 5 years old. Just imagine, at 5 years old, I was already expecting something better in the future. I was not enjoying my childhood like that. Now, do I blame myself, my parents? No, I don't, because I guess my parents lived the same life. But my parents probably could have maybe installed something in me, like they could have told, why not to enjoy it? It's so good when you wake up early. something, some kind of put into my mind so I would enjoy it more. Instead, they were just maybe sometimes laughing a little bit because it was really funny. So this is how it started. It's not really my pattern, though. I will tell you. I told you that everybody has a pattern why they differ in life. I will tell you what mine is. This is not my pattern. I do hope for something in the future frequently. Hi. But this is not my pattern. So the pattern is it comes later. Pattern is something that basically guides your life. So just because I'm waiting, hoping for something in the future, doesn't mean that I don't live my life. I do. But the pattern also influence, and I will get to the pattern now. So this is when it started. It started with my kindergarten. For you, I don't know. I'm not sure where it could be, but it's always waiting for something else. Our parents were waiting, our grandparents were waiting, and we are waiting. And if you would think, well, on stage it's cultural thing, no, it's not cultural thing. I mean, I live in the United States 24 years now, and I met so many Americans and immigrants who live the same life, who always like, well, once I will retire, then I can travel, but then they never traveled, or once I will do this, I will do so. Anyways, it's sad to see when people are in their 70s, 80s, and they're like, yeah, I wish I did this, or I wish I did that, and they didn't because they were hoping for something in the future. So we're going to do something about it, because I don't want you at the time the energy is speeding up. I don't want you to sit and wait for something that might never happen and postpone in your life just because of some kind of pattern that was installed in you when you were little. All right. So if you think that you do not defer your life, that you do not postpone your life, you might be mistaken. Everybody does, to a particular degree. So you might be postponing, but not as much as others. How could it be? Now, for example, you got yourself a mortgage and you're telling yourself, well, once I pay off my mortgage, then something will, like my brother, this is his thing, he paid off already a few apartments, and this is every time story. I need to pay off my mortgage. Once I pay off my mortgage, then I would do this. So it's like his mortgage always helps him to postpone his life. Always, any kind of excuse, I already have it as a joke because of that. Now, I mean, he lives. He's postponing bigger steps in his life because of this always a mortgage looming always over his shoulder. So, but people could be like, for example, I remember I had two friends, and they used to say a long time ago, and they would be like, well, when I will get married, then I will do this. When I will get married, funny thing is that neither of them is married till now. So, I mean, what was the point of postponing if you never get you never get married? So everybody has it. Observe yourself, observe your thoughts. It could be small. So, for example, maybe you want to call somebody, and you're like, okay, let me finish all my things, then I will call that person, right? And then you will see, once you finish all those things, you already will be not in the mood to call somebody. I used to do that a lot. Like, okay, so I will call this person in the evening. I will have a lot of free time to talk, like that. And then when the evening comes, it's either I have something to do, or I'm already not in the mood. So right now, if I have an urge to call, I call right away. So that's about, everybody has this some kind of postponement, some kind of deferment of life. You just find what is yours and make sure that it's not too big. All right, so all these needs that we have, and because we're postponing something, it's an illusion. It's our mind comes with this illusion to protect us from experiencing life, from moving forward. You see, while I have a lot of things to do, I don't need to move forward. I have a clear excuse, why I'm not moving forward, because I have things to do. And because it gives me peace of mind, the mind will always find something to do, something else to do, why couldn't, for example, if somebody wants to buy something, let's imagine I want to buy a super expensive bag, let's say $10,000. Chanel right now, I think it's $10,000. So let's imagine I want to buy a Chanel bag for $10,000, not less. And my mind is always like, well, once I will have on the savings this amount of money, then I can buy myself. So then something else will happen. You see, me not buying Chanel bag is not, if I am not determined to buy that bag, there will always be some kind of excuse not to buy it. Now, I should find a reason why I'm putting excuses on buying a Chanel bag. I should be excited about it. Then maybe I truly don't want to buy that bag. That's a different story. But there will be always something, always some kind of excuse. You will see. It takes a little strength to step over all those excuses and move forward with life. And I will give you an example not from not too far back in my life. So since I came to United States, and I found out that kids after high school here used to take a break before college and used to go to Europe for a year. It's like a gap year. So they experience a little bit life before they become adults, before they go to college, and then they build family. And I was like, what an amazing kind of tradition, what an amazing habit, why I never did it, but I couldn't because of my kind of reasoning too. So, and then I found out that a lot of aristocracy from Russian Empire was doing the same. So the young kids would go to Europe, study art, study history, study literature, like get a little educated before they come back and start some kind of service in the empire, and when they build the family. So I always thought it's amazing, to do this. So since I was here in the United States, since I moved here when I was 19, since that time, I was always thinking it would be so amazing to go and just stay for a year in another, in Europe somewhere, in other countries, to experience something just and then come back and kind of live. Since then, so for 20 years, I had this idea of that I should go to Europe and stay there for a year, like go somewhere, somewhere to experience something different. It was like a fixed idea that I always wanted to do, but I was always postponing, always because I was working, because I had a business, because this and this and this and this. So 2 years ago, as you know, I was like, absolutely something happened, and I was like, oh no, that's it. I'm traveling. I will pack up everything and I will travel. And I got very nervous, because it was not just an idea; it was already something more real. I had enough energy to make this real. So what happened next? I mean, I was still kind of contemplating. I was researching. I already booked a couple places for myself, but I still was, it was still kind of a dream. It was not that real. It became real when I told my landlord that I'm not renewing my lease, that I'm giving up the apartment because I'm traveling. And in that moment, when I did that, I had this panic and fear that basically overwhelmed me. I was shaking for maybe half an hour because now I told that, basically I gave up my place of living. I could have found another one, but still. And that traveling that I was dreaming and craving for 20 years, that I was basically telling myself that I should go, became a threat to me, you see? But I already, the energy started moving toward it, so I could not postpone. I could not say no. I had to go through with it, and I'm happy. I'm happy that I did it. I obviously, the amazing experience. My energy changed so much, so I am happy that I did it. But you see how, when I was so close to traveling, my mind felt that it was a threat and started finding a whole bunch of excuses not to do it. There were 2 reasons. I'm not going to tell you that pushed me to do it. If not for those 2 reasons, who knows? Maybe I would find an excuse and stayed again and stayed there in the United States and continue dreaming about when this something happened, then I will go. When something, then I will go. But I did. I went, and I'm happy that I did this. So you see how it looks. You would think, how can I postpone something that I so much want? You can, because this is your mind doing. Just the idea makes you feel great, but it doesn't mean that it's you see, sometimes all we want is to dream. When it comes to reality, the reality is not always the same, so we're afraid of reality. You see, when it touches our aura, our energy, it's completely different. I'm telling you this. For 20 years I dreamt of Europe. I went to Europe. No, and then when it came really close, I was so scared. I was shaking all the I think I was basically super nervous until I think I did 2 countries. Only then I kind of settled in that I'm traveling, that everything is fine, I'm safe. So, and this happens with everything. You think, for example, you want to buy particular shoes. I remember the first time I bought the shoes for $300. I wanted them for some time. I planned, I saved money, I put money aside. I spoke to myself 100 times, that I need to upscale, I need to buy something more. something more expensive. I deserve, I'm in that age, I should wear more expensive. I had all this pep talk with myself for so long. But once I went to the store and I had to to give them my card, I became very nervous. So you see, this is how it shows. And I started having all these voices. Do you really need? You can buy 3 pairs of shoes. Who knows how long they will last? Maybe they will, maybe they won't be that good anyways. They don't look as good as you thought they would be. I had all these voices, but I went through my voices. So, and anyways, now if I would have a lot of money, would I think like that? No, I wouldn't. So I always thought that once I have a lot of money, then I could buy all those shoes. But this is not. It doesn't work like this. You could not be waiting for something again and again. So this is my experiences. I mean, obviously I have more, but I just gave you an example, so you can probably look and find where those experiences are in your life, because everybody has them. Everybody. You might have something not material but experience wise. For example, you tell yourself, I am going to start looking for a man when I will become slender, or when I will become, I don't know, or when I will do some kind of will fix my face somehow, or I don't know, when my hair will grow longer, then I will start dating. And so you're postponing, and you will see you might never lose weight, because that will mean that you will have to take that step once you will lose weight. Or maybe you will lose weight, but then there will be some kind of new excuse. So for example, maybe I don't know, maybe you will have some other health issues, and you'll be like, okay, when I fix that, then I will start looking for a man. So again, for anybody it's different. Or I will start looking for a new job once something, like this. So it's always postponing something. Or people who are married and they don't get kids right away, and they start with, oh, but we need to get the mortgage, oh, but then we need to do this, but then we need to do this, and then the time goes, uh, like there will be always excuse if you are not doing actions, because your mind is protecting you from that something that you're postponing, you see. Okay, but it's always an illusion. Remember, it's always an illusion. This is the most important. So all those obstacles are illusions of not doing what you set yourself to do. It's important, you see. You not having kids, it's not because you have obstacles. The obstacles are protecting you of not having kids. You not losing weight to start dating somebody is what is not an obstacle. It's something that protects you from dating. You are not ready to date, or you're afraid to date, and that's why you created this obstacle. I'm not skinny enough, or something like that. And this is what happened. But it's an illusion. Remember. So I already said this. Deferred life is why you procrastinate your life now. It protects you from the changes, and you do it because you have either a pattern, or you're just protecting yourself from something. You don't have enough energy from something, and you basically protecting yourself. Now, I told you that that everybody has a pattern, a particular pattern. Now, my pattern for deferred my life was this. It wasn't about in the future life will get better. My pattern was something is always more important than my needs. So I would postpone something. So if I want to go traveling, I would postpone because there is more important needs. And my mind would create those needs for, like, for example, I went to college and got student debts. I honestly, I never even used my education. Why would I do that? Because something is more important than my needs. I needed to create this kind of something that is more important than my needs. Now, why did I have that pattern? Because of my childhood, as everybody else's childhood. My parents never really told me no for anything, but they would say that something like, well, we need to buy this now. Like they would always speak to us like grown up. So this is more important right now. We need to pay for this, so we need to buy this. Like they would never say that. Yes, this is so important for you to have it. Let's kind of let's see. Maybe at the end of the month we'll buy something. It never was like this. It was always like, okay, you want it, good for you. But this is more important. And so I grew up with this pattern. Something is more important than my needs. So every time I have a wish, every time I want to do something for my own pleasure, I always think, is there something more important that needs my attention right now? I mean, so I was taught from childhood, not to take my needs and wants seriously, like, and this is a lesson that I need to learn. It's not because of my parents. I know why. Is I have Saturn in the fifth house. It's blocking my pleasure. So it's just my parents helped me to kind of to create this block so I can unblock myself later on. So this is my pattern. My pattern is that something is always more important than my wants, not my immediate needs. Like, for example, like rent is important, electricity is important, food is important, but something that is not that I want just for the pleasure of it is not that important, like this. So this is my pattern, and I obviously the reason why I start doing this life, because I start noticing this pattern appear in my life again. Again, I'm prioritizing something that I believe is more important, and pushing to the side my wants. I noticed that, and I'm like, okay, this needs to stop right now because I'm reversing to where I should not be. And I decided to also, to speak to you about, because if this subject came up, then it's needed. It needs to be talked about. All right. So this is my pattern. Your pattern could be different. For example, your pattern could be. Like if you were brought up in a family that is like modest, abstinence, you probably were taught that anything that you buy for the pleasure of it is just waste, that so many people are starving and you're here wasting money on lobsters and caviar, like this. Could be different, and you will create those patterns again and again. They were created by your parents for you, but now you're recreating yourself all the time. Like I have a friend, and she has siblings. So she has two siblings who are older and two siblings who are younger. They're a big family, and so her pattern is, it's not that some needs are more important, somebody else's needs are more important, like this. And she lived this pattern for a long time until recently. And again, I guess maybe she was listening to me, or she even worked with me a little bit, and then she started like she started realizing that life is passing by and she's still there thinking about others. So she always was catering to her siblings. Like, for example, when she's buying Christmas gifts for people, she would always buy for her siblings, and then if she has some money, she would buy herself something. If she doesn't, then oh well, at least I bought for everybody. And this like this was with her all the time. She has a boyfriend, she would buy something for her boyfriend, never for herself. Then she was surprised why nobody would buy her presents, because she was always thinking about others, not about herself. So like this, you find your pattern. That pattern needs to be changed, you see. Okay, so let's get to the steps. I mean, we're here to stop all this. We're here to stop procrastinating, stop postponing life, and start living that life. And how do you do? So first of all, you obviously need to work on your energy. I mean, energy is the most important. I didn't even put it as a point. But once you have enough energy, you will start living the life that you want to live. Why? Because you will have enough to push through all those obstacles that your mind is building in your head. Like me with traveling, I had enough energy. Yes, I was scared. Yes, I was still skeptical. Yes, there were a lot of anxiousness. Yes, a lot of things that were lining up for me to kind of to postpone. But I had enough energy to push through it, and I did. Now, so what you need to do? You need to start loving to solve the problems of today. So instead of postponing them, so you need to start loving the process of life itself. Instead of postponing something for the future, just do it now. I really start loving my life when I start doing everything right away. Like if I need to, like even through little things. I never have dishes that are not unwashed. My apartment is always in order. If I need to do something, I do it now. So it's either I do it now or I don't do it at all. No, I don't postpone nothing. And I kind of enjoy it. I enjoy that I accomplish. Now I just make sure don't get into the circle of constantly accomplishing something, but still you need to start living that life now. Don't tell yourself, I will start looking after myself when I get myself a man. Start looking after yourself right now. Don't tell yourself, I will start trying new restaurants once I will become wealthy or something, or once I will get particular income. No, start trying the restaurants right now. Maybe one restaurant a month or so, but still start doing something. Don't like start solving all those wants and needs right now. Do not postpone them, because there will be other obstacles that will not allow you to postpone. I hope I make it clear. You see, you need to kind of love doing whatever needs to be done right now for life to move on, not to kind of pile up as a task of, as a list of to-do tasks. Kind of do it right away. Don't put it on a list at all. Just do it, right now, if you can. The second step that I wanted to do is, um, if you plan to do something, do it now. So the first one was, you need to start solving problems. Do not postpone those problems or issues into the future. Fix them now. The second one is, do what you plan right now. Do not find, so I wrote here, we find excuses because of fear and doubt. Our mind finds issues to solve and postpone. Now, if you plan something, do it now. Do not tell, well, maybe I should wait, maybe I will do it later on, maybe this. No, do it now. Do it now. I'm telling you, you will see how much faster your life will start moving if you will start doing whatever you plan right now. If you plan to read a book, do not tell yourself, well, when I will go on vacation, I will read that book. No, you won't. I used to do that. You're on vacation, you will find something else to find an excuse, to not to read that book. Or if you're like, okay, so I will watch this movie when I will have free time. You won't, because it's either you're not interested in that movie, or there will be some kind of new excuses again. That's bad. So whatever you plan, do it now. Do not postpone it. If you want to go to Dominican Republic, go today. Go next week. Do not, or at least request, if you are working, request a vacation for a month in advance, and just start planning. Do not postpone. Maybe in half a year I will go to Dominican Republic. You won't. You won't, because I did it so many times. It's either you do it right now, or you don't, or it will become a dream, like my European trip. It was just a dream. Like there was this joke for some time. It's like, what do you dream about? I dream about losing weight. So why don't you lose the weight? Well, then what I'm going to dream about? So this is the same thing. It's like once you do what you are dreaming for so long, then you feel like empty, because your dream is done. But you're supposed to move. You're not supposed to dream. All right. So realize that current issues protect you from your expansion. Now, if you need to expand, you need to kind of put all those issues on pause, and start moving towards your expansion. Nothing will, trust me, the issues will be coming again and again and again, because you're afraid of that expansion. So you need to kind of decide that I'm going to do that, and I will overcome the issues as they come. I will get this, I will solve this problem when I get to it. So again, do not think that all those issues will be solved and then you will be happy jumping into the future. It never works like this. You go in the future. It's like market. It goes up, then goes down, up, down, up, down. It never goes just straight up. I mean, randomly, but mostly never. So the same as you expand yourself a little bit, you go down, just like energy. Like I always tell you, expand a little bit, go down, expand more, go down, expand more. So you will always have issues and problems that will come up, but it should not stop you from expansion. Those issues and problems arise to slow you down a little bit and to give you time to ground yourself in that new, in the expanded state. But that's it. You are not supposed to be backing out of your expansion just because of couple issues. So the issues will be coming up, and they will block your expansion if you will not learn how to kind of to step through them, or step over them, and just move on towards that expansion. Now, another thing that I wanted to mention, you need to think about this. So if this would be your, let's say, I don't know, if you have only 1 month, so you found a dream job and you have 1 month before the dream job will start, what are you going to do? So you have freedom, do whatever you want right now. What are you going to do right now? So it will be a very demanding job, so you wouldn't have so much free time. What would you do right now? Or, for example, if you are not looking for a job, let's imagine you are getting married in a month. So or you will have a man in a month, and you will be in a relationship. So now you're in a relationship, you're living with the man, you're married, you're planning the future together. You have 1 month. In that 1 month, you don't need to plan the wedding. What are you going to do within that 1 month? Answer yourself honestly. A while back, maybe like 8 months ago, so I was watching this video, and that video, so there is this kind of, I wouldn't say it's like practices, it's more like a therapy, and it's called Gestalt therapy. So what you need to do, they basically put people in a really difficult kind of situations, in a really life-changing situations, for them to kind of to wake up out of their, the slumber. Like for example, they can put you in coffin and and leave you there, so you can realize how precious the life is, and that you shouldn't be wasting it. And there was one where obviously it's not like they're leaving you there. I mean, they will get to you, but you will have those few moments to realize, that you don't really have that much to waste. It's really eye-opening. So there was a question: if this would be your last week on this earth, on this in this life, what would you do right away? And I was surprised when my answer did not correlate to my life right now. Yes, I love where I live. Yes, I love what I do, but it's not 100% satisfactory to me. So when that question was in my mind, I answered very fast of what I would do within that week. And what I chose was not what I do right now. This was the funniest thing. And it made me think. You see, I was basically sitting there, and I'm like, oh, it's like I'm doing what I would do completely different, And since then, it's been 8 months. Since then, I'm thinking about that. Since then, because I realized in that moment, in those few seconds, that somewhere slowly I'm betraying myself, and I'm postponing my life because of some kind of illusionary obstacles that I made in my head. So if your answer would be, if I have only 1 week, I would be exactly in the same place, exactly where I'm now, then you are not postponing your life. You are just living a perfect life. Maybe you're fully satisfied. That happens also. But for the most part, most of the people that I know will give completely different answers, will give answers that they do not even allow themselves to dream on right now. Like somebody would tell, well, I will travel to this place, or I would go and buy myself whatever, or I will go to this place, or I will do this experience. So answer yourself honestly. You don't have to answer to myself. Answer to yourself. Be honest with yourself. So do this. Don't get that drastic. But imagine you have a month before something like a huge event. What would you do during that time? Like I remember when I got an offer letter from in my previous career from an institution. I had 2 weeks. Oh my God, in those 2 weeks, what I didn't do. I saw all my friends. I went out to every place I wanted to go. I went to, I was in New York. I came to Florida for a little short vacation. I did in those 2 weeks more than I did in a couple of years prior to that. So you see, it is what it is. Or the months that I was about to go travel, I had the whole list of what I didn't see in Miami. There's like a lot of things that I wanted to try, but I was postponing because of of this imaginary obstacles. So I made sure that within that month I visited, like there is this the fruit and spice garden. Then there was the spring festival in the mall that I wanted to. So anyways, I did all of them in 1 month. So answer yourself, and whatever that answer will be, do it. If it's doable right now, do it. Don't think about nothing else. You will see once you become faithful to yourself how fast your life will adjust. And if you will tell me, Anastasia, we are not as brave as you. Look, I'm in the same boat as you are. I'm also somewhat deferring and postponing, but I know what I'm doing, and I'm fixing this as I speak, honestly. I'm good. How are you? And so the next one that you need to do, so once you will answer, then you need to remember how last time we spoke about phantoms, and how you need to work with the phantom to change something in your body. Now we're going to work with the phantom about you as in your new reality. So what do you need to do? If you watch the movie Bohemian Rhapsody about the group, the Queen, if you notice, I mean, I love that movie because of Freddie Mercury. I really loved how he was, even before they become famous, he was embodying this persona of this kind of famous singer, with his own style. I love this. I love people like this, people who are not afraid of showing, what they are and how they want to be. And so I really enjoyed that movie. So you need to become like Keep. You need to become somebody before you even start living that life. So, for example, if you are telling yourself, well, I will go to that restaurant when I will. I will go to that restaurant when I will become wealthy or when I make more money. Okay, you know what? Go to that restaurant. Go right now. Feel like you're already making that money. Embody that. So what you need to do, you need to imagine the phantom of yourself, and then imagine that phantom acts exactly as you would once that something happened in your life that you were telling yourself that maybe when you win the lottery or so you need to make a phantom in your resourceful state, or maybe you will make a phantom of you once you're married, once you have a hot boyfriend or something. So how are you going to think? And so you need to basically overcome that obstacle in your phantom. So if your obstacle is I'm not married, so I'm not going to talk to them. Or no, I'm not skinny enough, so I'm not going to meet new man. Imagine that the phantom is skinny enough. How the phantom would feel. You need to make that phantom very comfortable, and then connect yourself to the phantom. So basically, you're walking into the phantom, and you become a phantom. You need to embody that person that you want to become. You need to embody those characteristics. The reason why you are not living in the future because you're afraid. You see, you're afraid, and your mind is protecting you from that fear, from that from that from whatever might come if with the changes. You see, remember, your mind needs to keep you alive. As long as you are who cares that you live the same kind of groundhog day? As long as you are alive, that's everything that mind could ask of you. So if you want to expand and progress, you need to put the mind to rest and start kind of allowing yourself to become different. And to become different, you need to make the phantom different first. It would be much easier to make the phantom than to do it yourself. How are you going to feel when you're slender if you are not slender? Or how, for example, how would I feel when I win the a lottery, $1 million in lottery? I don't know how I feel. I mean, I never won, so how would I? But I can imagine, and it would be much easier for me to make my phantom act like that than to make me act like this. I mean, I can work with myself, but it would be much easier to work with the phantom. So make the phantom, act as you want them to act, as you imagine they would act, and then connect yourself to the phantom. Imagine you're walking into the phantom, and you become the phantom. When I was starting my journey with energy and NLP, this is what I used to do often. I used to do it because I obviously had changes ahead of me. I was always working in the finance career. I was almost told what to do, what to say, how to act. And now I had to act and do everything myself because now I'm self-employed. I have to speak for myself. I have to advertise myself. I have to I have to put the prices. I have to stand by those prices. Like I had to be strong. I have to make a new phantom. And that's what I did. I make a phantom who was self-employed, who was confident about what she was talking about, what she was doing. And then I connected to that phantom. I didn't become, I didn't expand right away, but it took time. But at least I made the energy moving. Like I pushed the ball rolling, so to say. So this is what you need to do. You need to make the phantom of the person who will be. The same as with traveling. When I knew that I am going to travel, I start almost, I wouldn't say pretending, like seeing myself, how I would live, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to think, how I'm going to be open to anything. Like, for example, I was thinking if I'm going to be in Europe, I should learn to take public transportation because I know that I'm not going to be renting cars there, so, and people in Europe use public transportation, like in New York, a lot of people use public transportation. So I basically made my phantom being okay with public transportation. And so when I was in, I didn't use it everywhere, but in Istanbul, in Rome, I used when I was in London. I also used public transportation because these are big cities, and and it's easy to use public transportation that's available for everybody. But first, I made the phantom be okay with that. A phantom who is traveling, who is feeling confident in all those cities, would be confident to use public transportation. You see, like that. Okay, so that's another one. Then what you need to do, you need to start little by little breaking the pattern of the pattern that you have. Remember what I told you about my pattern. My pattern was everything is more, not everything, but there are more important needs than my wants. And I started breaking that pattern. How did I break that pattern? Not always. I'm telling you, I still have things to do. I would. What I was start doing, I start putting money aside for me first before all the bills. So, for example, like I have a particular plan. So, let's imagine I make a particular amount of money, and every month I buy myself something. So, if that particular month I made less than I planned, I still would buy myself something. Yeah, I don't have enough for my bills. Okay, then I will need to dip into my savings, but I'm not sacrificing my wants, and you would say, well, this is just this is just not practical. Yeah, it's not practical, but it works. It works. Every time I show myself that I am valuable, that my wants are valuable, somehow next month I manage to make more money to cover that shortage. So you need to find what is your pattern, and then start doing it for yourself. Like that friend of mine that I told you that has two siblings under her and two siblings over her. The middle child, right? Once she start kind of buying herself first the presents, once she start thinking about herself first, she actually got married to a man who is like a serious provider. And yes, she still has that pattern. She always thinks about him first. She still has work to do. But at least right now she doesn't need to worry about the rent, about this and that. She is provided, and the man is obviously prioritizing her instead of her always prioritizing others. So this is what you need to do. You need to start breaking your pattern, and then, as with everything else, you need to look for results. Once the results will be shown, you will see that it's working, and you will be motivated to do even more, to go into your fear, to step over all those obstacles and just move on with your life. Now, if you have a lot of energy of air and fire, it would be easier for you. If you have energy of water or earth, it's a little harder, I wouldn't lie. But you will be able to, little by little, we all develop in our pace. Little by little, you will learn how to move forward, how to expand. All right, so that's it. If you have questions, ask. I'm going to sum it up, and then I will talk a little bit about something else. But I hope it makes sense. It should. So the whole point of this video was to inspire you and encourage you to start looking towards not like this. To start living the life now, not postpone it. Because if you will postpone it, you will see that there will be new obstacles coming again and again and again. Like I told you just now, if you decide that you are not dating nobody until you are 120 pounds, in your ideal weight, once you will get to that ideal weight, there will be new excuse. You will see there will be. I checked it so many times. It's like those excuses will be coming out. Or for example, you're telling yourself, I'm going to buy myself this dress once I pay off my credit card. So you will pay off your credit card. You will see there will be some kind of else expense. Something else will come out because you have a program. Your dress, your wish is not important. It's not supposed to be important. It's not supposed to be fulfilled. So we need to create more and more obstacles for that dress not to be bought. So you need to buy that dress before you even pay off that card, for the obstacles not to be appearing again and again and again. I'm telling you, I knew this guy, and he told me, so he's an immigrant like me, and he haven't been in his country for years. I don't know, maybe he's older than me, so I think maybe 18 years. And his pattern is, I don't know what his childhood pattern was, but his pattern is basically like that he could not really live work for that long. Like he could not. So he doesn't work for a corporate that gives like him a PTO, he works for like, and he has money. I don't know what his problem is, but he believes that he could not. So every time he's almost like, okay, so I'm going to go, to travel. Finally, I'm going to visit my family. Something comes up. Either his boiler is like broke, or his AC. I remember he has a house, so he pays mortgage. So I remember one time it was he was about to buy tickets. He was like waiting for a good sale or something like that, and his AC just went off, and he had to, like, it was the expensive repairs. You see, because he's afraid to take the step to travel. His mind finding the obstacles, the energy around him creates those obstacles. So if you are afraid to start dating man, you will see the mind will create the obstacles, the energy will create obstacles. Maybe every man that you will meet will be weird, or maybe they would not be handsome, or maybe they would be looking only for one thing. So something, you will get the proof, you will get that proof, the energy will. So you need to overcome and tell yourself, no, this is not how it works. I am going to go. Like him, he could have said, fine, I will fix it, but then I'm buying a ticket and I'm still going. That's fine. Like, I will buy the ticket on the credit card or something. Or you can tell, okay, so I'm afraid to date men because men are usually not trustworthy. Let's imagine you have this issue, but I'm still going to go and try. I am going to, because I'm not going to be single. I'm going to do this, something like that. You see, you need to learn how to overstep. It takes strength, as I said in the beginning. It takes strength and it takes energy to do that, but you will. Otherwise, if you will be afraid and skeptical, you will not be able to cross that field of obstacles. You see. And you will stay there and hope that somehow that field will clear and you will be able to just run through it. It doesn't work like this. You need to make a step first for the field to clear on its own, but you need to have enough courage to go in. Observe your pattern. Everybody has the pattern. The pattern started in childhood somewhere. Somewhere in childhood, it started somewhere maybe with your parents. Maybe, for example, you were from a not very wealthy family. And so, for example, your mom was telling me, my God, I wish I can give you everything, but it's not realistic. It's not like parents don't want to give you nothing. They do, obviously, it just doesn't happen always. So you grew up and you're like, I would give myself everything, but it's just not realistic. Maybe just to justify that pattern, you are working a job that doesn't pay you well. Or maybe you are obligated to take care, let's say, of some family member. So you basically, you could not give yourself what you want. So if you would choose yourself in those moments, you will see that pattern will just fall apart, if you will not allow it to come back, like to me right now. So this is what you need to do. So the steps are basically, and remember, your life postponing it always happens for two reasons. The first reason is the childhood pattern, and the second is your mind is protecting you from expansion, because expansion is always a threat. You don't know what is over there in the future. Who knows how it might turn out? For your mind, the goal is to keep you safe. As long as you are sitting doing nothing, you're safe. If you will start expanding, trying new things, going, traveling, meeting new people, it might be a threat. So the mind want to keep you in the cocoon, kind of regular things. So two reasons: either this is a pattern, or your mind is protecting you from expansion. Usually the mind protects you from expansion when you don't have enough energy. That's what it is. So if you have barely enough to fill up your aura, how are you going to expand? What are you going to do if you don't have enough energy? When you have a lot of energy, you will expand. Little kids are expanding so fast because they have so much energy within their aura. And this is how it is. So how to overcome these challenges, which you need to do, you need to start loving the life itself, loving the life experience, loving to solve those obstacles and not taking them too serious. Okay, so yeah, I have an obstacle, but that's fine. I will solve it and I will keep on moving. Don't make the obstacle important, because if you will make it, they will be just appearing and appearing like mushrooms after the rain. Like again, they just growing so fast. But do not mind them. Don't make a big deal out of it. Oh, now I have this kind of issue. Okay, so this issue, it happened, it happened. Just move on with it. Now do what you want, what you planned right now. Do not postpone it. At least make a little step towards it. Make a little step. Like with me, what was it? My passport was expiring and I needed to renew it. So my first step towards my traveling was to renew the passport. I knew that you can renew it half a year before it expires. So I did that. That was my first step. The second step was to tell my landlord, and after that the ball just started to roll. So do that. Then realize that your current issues protect you from the expansion. You might be fine not expanding ever. I'm just telling you, if you are bothered that you're not moving in life at all, then you need to do it. So if your mind is protecting from expansion, start talking to yourself, start explaining to yourself, start seeing the reason. Why is your mind protecting you? What are you afraid of really right now? And then once you will do that, focus on what is important. Focus on what you would do if this is like like your life is drastically changing in a month. What are you going to do? Like these are your last days as a single person. What will you do? Or you're changing your career from one career to another. You have 2 months in between. What are you going to do? Do that. Not because you need to do it, but because you want to do it. Like when I was when my position was discontinued, but we still had like 2 months we were on payroll, and we couldn't really look for any kind of job. We couldn't do nothing. And those 2 months, I traveled. I did exactly what I wanted to do, because I really, it was amazing. It was really, because I knew I couldn't look for a job. I couldn't do anything. So might as well go and travel. I still was on payroll. So it was amazing feeling of I'm free to do anything I want. It was crazy. So what if you are in that position? What are you going to do right now? And don't tell me, well, I'm going to fix I'm going to fix the roof, or I'm going to watch Netflix all day. You can do that if you always postpone it, but dig deeper. See what's like really what you would really want to do. Then what you need to do, embody. So embody the person of embody the phantom of the person. Embody the phantom of yourself when you yourself already done that. So as a person who already have, so you're not dating nobody right now because you think you need to get into particular shape or form, or maybe change your mentality somehow, heal somehow. How would you act? How your phantom would act when you already have a man? So imagine there is a man, a hot man next to you. How you will act, how your phantom will act, what it will be, and I will tell you, you will change, because we always change around other people. And then embody that phantom and start acting just that. Maybe you'll be super happy, you'll be very relaxed, you wouldn't really care about what others say or think. Maybe you would feel more confident with the man. Maybe the problems that you have in life will not really be bothering you that much, because you're happy. And you need to find the pattern that stops you in life, and start changing it. Again, the pattern will be different for somebody, but find what is stopping you from expanding. What is not only stopping you from expanding, what does not allow you to do whatever you want to do. What is that pattern? If you have a lot of masculine energy, it could be something like your parents used to tell you something like, you're very selfish, think about others. So now you always like turn around, always make sure to check, is everybody's fine, can I move on? Can I move further? Or for example, you could be something like the pattern would be, you need to think about your elders first. Something. So could be different patterns. Choose, find what is yours. I don't know. I'm just telling you from what I saw. Mostly, it's parents who are kind of trying to protect kids from being like overly spoiled, overly overachievers, kind of. So they ground them, they humble them a little bit, and this is your pattern. So you need to start changing that pattern right now. Do that, and then look for the results. You will see, once you start changing the pattern, once you embody the phantom of the person who you want to be, You will see how fast it will change. You couldn't even imagine how fast it was changing for me. Once I start embodying just for 10 minutes a day and changing the pattern very fast. It even happened this year, and I didn't even expect. I didn't expect it to turn like this. I didn't expect. So I will share at one point. Maybe I will share my experience, but it does change very fast. All right, that's it. If you have questions, ask. I also wanted to mention if one thing, absolutely non-relevant to this topic, but I wanted to say this. We had a new moon on Friday night, and you probably noticed it. The new moon was hard, had so many squares. I hope everybody survived. It was rather crazy, but and I hope you noticed. So it was new moon, and now it's going to be all those subject that will reason around that new moon will kind of develop until they will come to a culmination on full moon, right? So observe yourself. It has a lot of Sagittarius. It was new moon in Sagittarius and has a lot of squares to Neptune, to Saturn, opposition to Uranus, a lot of things. Now, another thing that happened, and I hope you observe. Don't think that it was because something was happening in your life. Something was happening in your life because of all those changes in the sky. Another thing that happened was that Lilith, the planet of our kind of the dark side of our soul, changed the sign in the same day. So it was it was in Scorpio for 9 months, and now it moved to Sagittarius. So finally, finally, stop torturing the Scorpios and Tauruses, and it will start torturing now Sagittarius and Geminis. Now, Lilith influences us. Why I mentioned this? Because we are ladies, and the moon and Lilith influence us a lot, especially if you have a lot of feminine planets in you. So Lilith is, if a moon is body, Lilith is not really. It's fictional point on the sky, but it does. We all have natal Lilith, and if you didn't watch it, I spoke about it actually in one of the videos. But it changes sign every 9 months, and it influences that particular area. So right now it moved to Sagittarius. So when it was in Scorpio for 9 months, we all were obsessing about resources and money. We were all very jealous and kind of suspicious about everything and everybody, because this is Scorpio's themes, right? Scorpio is like this mysterious, passionate, kind of suspicious, money obsessed, so everybody was like this. Now Sagittarius is different. Sagittarius is very like a fighter for freedom, basically loves freedom, loves like new beliefs, new education, expansion, traveling. So this is what the Sagittarius is about. And since Lilith is the dark side of that, we're going to be maybe a little too crazy about becoming non-committal, becoming like separating from I wouldn't say from somebody or from something, but more like trying to become free. What I want to say is just make sure, don't get into some kind of sect. Don't get into something that that's not you, that shouldn't be you, because of Lilith. Lilith is a dark side and can really drag you into the depths of some kind of swamp. So just wanted to mention this a little bit, because Lilith does influence everybody. It's like a moon. It influences our mood, it influences our emotions, but especially it influences women, because women are ruled by the moon. So again, observe yourself. At least you will not be obsessed about resources and about finances. You wouldn't be looking for threats in everybody, but you will want to kind of to cut everything off and move on, and everything you will want to travel, to kind of to expand. Make sure, be mindful of that. I mean, there is like, do not overexhaust yourself. do not overexhaust your energy and your resources. Be smart about that. I mean, Lilith is like a dark angel sitting and telling you, do it. Oh, and because it's in fire sign, it will make you really, I wouldn't say almost crazy, but it will make you impatient and um, really wanting to be almost by yourself, not like almost by yourself, like almost not wanting to be with anybody, or like to be free from anything, from any kind of restraints. If you have a lot of placements in Sagittarius, in Gemini, you will feel it. You will feel it. Last time it was in 2017, so it changes every 9 months. It was in 2017. I think it was from February 14 to November 8. Yeah, 2017. So observe how you live that time period, and now it's back again. Again, yeah, I mentioned this because it's mostly ladies who are listening to me, and since it's mostly ladies, make sure that you kind of watch yourself, observe yourself, to not allow this transit to get yourself into something that you are not ready to get yourself in. Last time the transit was going to, I was already studying energy. I didn't mind that I was expanding myself, but there were things, there were kind of um, side studies that tried to pull me in, and luckily for me, I didn't get, because some of them were not really the right studies, the authentic studies that I was getting in. So, anyways, but I will speak about the transits and the changes next video, next Sunday. I hope this was useful. Again, it's the end of the year. Give yourself some kind of promises. Start choosing yourself again. I will speak about the transits, and I will tell you why you need to do that as well. But for this video, I hope I inspired you. I hope I pushed you to kind of to observe your life, to analyze your life, and see whether you're different or not different. Remember, you can differ all you want, but until you will take the reins and you will decide, okay, I'm doing it, it will not change. Like I told you, I was dreaming about traveling in Europe for a year, for 20 years. 20 years. If I didn't get that push 2 years ago, I might be still be dreaming about it. It was not that hard. I went and I came back, and and thankfully everything was still here, and and nothing changed much. So do what you want to do not postpone. Definitely do not postpone because of others. Like, oh my god, I have so many examples. I don't even like for example, somebody, okay, so I'm waiting for my daughter to grow up, and then I will do this. And then something happens, then the daughter goes to college, and okay, I'm waiting for my daughter to finish college, and then this, and then the daughter gets pregnant, and that's it. You're stuck with the grandchild. Now you have to do all this. So do not postpone your life for others, for sure. Do not postpone for yourself either. If you are waiting for something to happen so you can start living, you never will if you will not do the step right now. Why? Because that postponement is protecting you. So unless you overcome that protectiveness, those obstacles, it will always be there. Some kind of obstacles will be appearing and appearing and appearing. And so think about this. You have a lot of time. Today is winter solstice, so like a very powerful day, good day to kind of to project something new into your life, to wish for something new. So maybe it's time to kind of to give yourself a promise that you are going to be living, and actually live to that promise. This is the first. And second, maybe it's time to kind of to clean up a little bit. Start working, clean up your life. Start working on your energy, and come into the new year like determined to start afresh, to follow your desires, your wishes, instead of some kind of obstacles and patterns that were put for you a long time ago, and do not really play much role right now. All right, that's it. I hope I motivated you. If you have questions, ask. I wanted to make it as clear as possible, so I hope it made sense. Remember, again, everybody differ life. Everybody. I don't think anybody who does not. Just some do it a little bit, and some do it like really big. Like once I will graduate, I was living this life. Once I will finish kindergarten, then I will do this. Once I will finish school, then university came, and then this and this, and it just never ending, never ending until you will start living, and then you realize you're 60 years old, and you're like, better start living now. All right, that's it. I do wish everybody who celebrates Merry Christmas, and enjoy this time with your family, with friends. It's amazing time, and you probably have a lot of vacation days and everything. So enjoy that. I will see you next Sunday at 11, and bye TikTok. I didn't even look whether there were any comments. Okay. Thank you, YouTube. If you have anybody who would benefit from this video, please send it to them. I'm grateful for your support. Enjoy your holidays, and I will see you next Sunday at 11 a.m. Bye, everybody.